The crowd in the private dojo had already started whispering before the two even stepped onto the mat. It wasn't every day you saw him, the BJJ Black Belt billionaire whose name was etched into every major business magazine, bow before an opponent who didn't even look like he belonged there. And yet, standing across from him, barefoot on the tatami, was a tall, broad-shouldered man in a faded t-shirt and worn training pants. He had calloused hands, a deep scar running along his jaw, and eyes that carried more battles than anyone could guess. "You sure you want to do this?" the billionaire asked, adjusting his black belt, a smirk tugging at his lips. The single dad veteran just gave a faint smile. "You asked me to spar, so let's spar." The audience leaned forward. Phones were ready. Even the billionaire's personal trainer had a look that said, "This is going to be over fast." But here's what no one knew: this veteran wasn't just some ex-soldier. He had survived more than war. He'd survived nights of sleeping on hospital floors when his son was too sick to be left alone. He'd survived walking away from a career that gave him purpose just to take care of the boy who now sat at the edge of the mat, swinging his legs and grinning with pride. This spar wasn't just about skill. For him, it was about proving something to his son, to the billionaire, and maybe to himself. The match began. The billionaire moved fast, deceptively fast for someone in his 50s, shooting for a single-leg takedown with perfect technique. But the veteran sprawled hard, countering with an underhook and spinning to take the back. Gasps filled the room. The billionaire twisted, trying to escape, but the veteran transitioned to side control with the kind of precision that comes from muscle memory carved in fire. "You've trained before," the billionaire grunted, bridging to escape. "A little," the veteran said softly. What he didn't say was that he'd learned half his techniques not in some air-conditioned academy, but in dirt courtyards overseas, training with locals between patrols. The billionaire regained guard, pulling the veteran in tight, trying to work a sweep. The veteran adjusted, his weight like an immovable anchor. Sweat began to bead on foreheads. This wasn't going to be the quick humiliation the audience expected. Minutes passed. The billionaire attempted an armbar, but the veteran stacked him, passed, and in a flash, had him in a deep Americana. The billionaire's eyes widened. He wasn't just in danger, he was trapped. And then, the veteran let go. The room went silent. The billionaire sat up, breathing hard. "Why didn't you finish it?" The veteran glanced toward his son. "Because winning isn't always about making the other guy tap. Sometimes, it's about showing control." Something shifted in the billionaire's face. The arrogance was gone. He stood, offered his hand, and this time the bow was deeper, full respect. Afterward, while the crowd still buzzed, the billionaire approached the veteran and his son. "You've got something rare. Integrity, skill, heart. If you ever want to train here, or if your boy wants a scholarship, it's yours." The veteran smiled. "We'll think about it. But thank you." As they left the mat, the billionaire turned to the cameras. "I asked him to spar to test his skills. He ended up teaching me something I didn't expect. Remember, strength isn't just about what you can do. It's about what you choose not to do." Viewers watching from home wouldn't forget that moment. And if you're hearing this right now, you know stories like this deserve to be told. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who needs to be reminded true power comes from discipline, not domination. The last shot lingered on the veteran and his son walking into the sunset outside the dojo, two figures, one tall and battle-tested, the other small and full of dreams, proving that sometimes the greatest victories aren't won on the mat, but in the choices we make when no one's keeping score. The billionaire stood there for a long moment after they left, still feeling the veteran's grip in his hand, not just the physical strength, but the steadiness behind it. He'd sparred with champions, trained with world-class fighters, but none of them had given him the same quiet lesson this man had. The crowd started to disperse, but the veteran's son came running back inside. He was holding something, an old, frayed medal on a ribbon, the kind that didn't shine anymore but carried stories heavier than gold. "My dad got this in the service," the boy said, shyly holding it out. "It's for saving people. I just wanted to show you he's a hero, even if you didn't know it." The billionaire knelt down to eye level. "I know it now," he said, his voice low but sincere. And I'm proud I got to share the mat with him. Back in the locker room, the veteran sat on the bench, untying his training pants, the familiar ache settling into his joints. His son sat beside him, legs swinging, eyes sparkling. "You almost made him tap, Dad," the boy said. "Why didn't you?" The veteran chuckled. "Because life's not about proving you're the strongest. It's about being strong enough to walk away when you could win but don't need to." He ruffled the boy's hair. "One day, you'll understand." That night, a video clip from the Spar hit social media. People expected to see the billionaire dominating as usual, but instead, they saw a man who wasn't intimidated, who matched him move for move, and who chose mercy over victory. Comments poured in, "This veteran's control is unreal. True martial arts spirit right there. His son must be so proud." Within hours, it went viral. The next morning, the billionaire himself posted the clip with a single caption. "Discipline over dominance. Respect over ego. Thank you, soldier." A week later, the veteran and his son returned to the dojo not for a rematch, but because the billionaire insisted they join as honored members. His son received a brand new GI, with his name stitched in gold, and the veteran was given free lifetime training. For the boy, it was the start of a dream. For the veteran, it was a reminder that sometimes, opportunities come not from chasing glory, but from standing firm in who you are. So if you're watching this, remember real strength isn't just what you can take. It's what you can give. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because stories like this aren't just fights, they're life lessons. And somewhere, in a quiet dojo, a billionaire and a veteran still meet every Friday night to train not as opponents, but as friends, bound by the respect only true warriors understand.